Position. Okay. I want you to see how you meditate first, then we move on to different things. That's how you meditate. That's Shafaw meditation. That's Hillary and I.
Oh.
And Bob.
Oh.
1995.
Wow.
Excuse me.
Bob has passed, but Bob was, I think, 17 when Beirut's worked on him. So his tumor completely disappeared and his sinus infection cleared, and we ended up finding a wonderful pasture where it was a therapeutic horse. He'd been a racehorse for 9 years, which is unheard of, and then became a Grand Prix jumper after that. And I was lucky enough to get him for a student. I only had him for a couple of years before he injured himself to the point where he couldn't jump. So a veterinarian found this home for him, and he walked around with handicapped children for several years and lived as a horse on 200 acres the rest of his life until he passed.
Wow. And when did he pass?
I think he was 25. So
And what year?
it must have been, if that was 95 and he was 17. So, yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
After the invasion. I brought it on purpose. I'm saying it on purpose. I'm not meaning to be funny here. I'm waiting for a person who's gone to the bathroom to come. And meanwhile, I'm going to show you another picture. The young man that you see here, I don't know if you can see, sorry. His name was Ben Underwood. He passed. So, his name was Ben Underwood. He passed. This is a class that I held in one of the local hotels, and it's the second year's class of some kind. So, you weren't here. I was showing this picture. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that?
I see 3 people.
Yes. So one of them is me, and the rest aren't me. I'm here. I don't know if you can see. And there is a young man in the middle with his mom. So the significance of inviting him and his mom to one of my classes was to highlight the fact that we can use our senses interchangeably. You know, going back to my experience at the UCSF hospital. This young man, I think at the age of 2, came down with cancer of the sinus. And so the sinus spread and they had to remove his eyes. And then he started to be very needy towards his mom. At that point, the mom taught him a few good lessons, an incredible mother. And the mom actually bought him a bicycle. Said, do you want to ride the bicycle? And he says, yes. He said, if you ride your bicycle and come home crying, I will kick you out of this house. You want to ride the bicycle? And he says, yes. So he was riding the bicycle, and soon thereafter, all the neighborhood kids were riding with him. So 5, 6 kids on the bicycle. And he was the driver. He was riding the bicycle. He was the eyes of all those kids. And, we test drove and we said, okay, tell us how many people are here and who's where and what is the shape. Do you remember that album?
Yeah.
And, he could tell you if the column there is rectangular or circular or round. He could tell if that's a normal car, sedan car, or a pickup truck. He could, as he was going, he could tell you if there is a garbage can. He could tell me how height I was, my height. He could tell, in some cases I heard, that he could tell you, even the color of your eyes. But we did not witness that. And, so the way he said it was that, he sent signals and the signals come back and that's how he knows. And he actually was producing a sound, which I can't repeat, but he was doing it and he would say it like a bat, he would send signals like radar and they know where to go. But I didn't think that. I did not say anything either. I did not think that he's like a bat. I did not think that, he's doing some really extraordinary thing. I just thought he knew. And he can use that sense interchangeably. Maybe he needs an anchor with sound to make that happen. And anyway, so we invited him to the class, and him and his mom came. It was a very emotional class, very nice class. And we decided that we offer complimentary sessions till he heals. And anytime I called him, he was really angry with me. He said, "Are you not ready, Ben?" And he said, "No, I was playing or I was doing something. Do you want me to call you some other time?" "Well, I don't know. Maybe my mom will call you." So after twice, that's how I operate. I realize I respect people's process, but I'm not there. I'm not going to crucify myself. I'm not a martyr. And the time that I spend and prepare the person doesn't want it can be addressed to someone else that wants it. And he passed. But he always thought that he's going to heal. And he was saying that I'm going to heal through Jesus. Nothing wrong with it. Except that, how?
What do you mean healing? Start seeing?
Actually, cancer gone. Basically, that was the intention. For the cancer to be gone so we could live. But he had no physical eyes. Later on, they removed part of his nose and the olfactory areas. And he had false eyes when he came. So wishing and desiring and hoping that God is with me is not going to do it. Belief is nice, but beliefs change all the time. In Shafaw, we do not believe. We try to know. It's very, very different. We try to know. Sometimes the process is very painful in the sense that reds all the time. Repetition, enthusiasm, all the time. Starting in the morning. Shafaw students have agreed with me that life is 24/7 meditation, which basically means you don't have to sit, all the time and do that. Every aspect of life becomes meditation. Even going to the bathroom is meditation. Anytime I go to the bathroom, I actually say, I think in English, so I say thank you for the ability to let go. It could be a joyous process too. It's meditation. Every aspect of life, eating, talking like this is meditation. So if we position ourselves that way, to accept 24/7 meditation, then information keeps on coming. You don't have to go to gurus and healers all the time. Information comes. You do have the receptor. Like information is coming through the door, but you don't see it because the door is closed. Open it up. It has nothing to do with, my father being a saint or I being a saint. It has nothing to do with, look at me. A regular guy. I'm doing really incredible things, but I'm a regular guy. That you can have a beer. And if I can do it, you can do it too. That's really the whole message. It has nothing to do with, all my life people said I'm very kind and trying to help people. Okay. That doesn't mean that you can heal and do these really some of these very miraculous healings. I'm trying to see if there is any other image I want to show you. I don't know how much time we have here, but I want to show you this image here. It's an aura image. We have an aura machine here that, sometimes we work and then we ask the person to see his or her aura before and after. But this image was taken, I think, in 2003. Excuse me a second. So I'm going to go clockwise. Do you see the image? It's almost identical, isn't it? Auras of two people. Identical, almost identical. If I were to look at it, it's probably 98% identical. Her name is Christine Dorothy, and we have her testimonial on the website. I went to Guy Coggins. Guy Coggins is the inventor of this camera, the Aura camera. And he wanted me to work, and he wanted to film me while I'm working and to see before and after, what happened. So I worked on her. Christine had the cancer of the tongue. And I think it was on a Saturday, probably August 17th or something. August 17th to be very significant in my life somehow. And on Sunday I had a seminar in 2003. And she came here, I worked on her, and she said what she had to say, and we took the video shots and everything. And I keep on working on different people, and then there are questions, and then seeing the aura, the actual, what happened, the change of the aura, and she's not going. So finally I look, I said, can I do something more for you? You seem to be standing there. And she, in a very shy manner, said, I'm very sorry, your car is in front of my car.
What is it?
And your car is blocking my car, I can't go. I said, oh, I'm sorry. And before she went, Guy Coggins, the inventor of the camera, said, can I take a still picture of you? And you, Master Danadoost. I said, fine. So we sat there and we took still pictures. This is actually 3 hours after I worked on it. She adopted my aura. 3 hours later, it's almost 98% identical. 3 hours later. And she went, they did all sorts of tests, there was no cancer. So without any Western intervention, the cancer was gone. And yes, I did a very good job, so. But at the same time, she did it. She maintained that. She adopted the aura. She held on to it. It wasn't that she believed in me. It was right and right. She knew. See, no Western intervention at all whatsoever.
Shouldn't her aura be like idiosyncratic of her? Like not like yours?
I did not understand the question.
When I look at somebody, I see the manifestation of them as being different for each person.
Yes.
And it's surprising to me to see an individual manifest an aura that matches that of another person.
And so basically you're surprised that she held on to the aura?
I thought you said she had matched your aura.
She matched and she held on, yes. So once her vibrations raised to my level, she kept it. And that's not easy. But she wanted to hold on to the aura. Where she wasn't a good place.
Uh-huh.
It's like, I hand you a sandwich and you eat it. And you have sandwich, I have sandwich inside me. And the same sandwich is inside you. There's nothing wrong with it. It's nurturing, replenishing, and so forth. So people do that, and the ones that actually heal, like her, and it was really, really very fast and instantaneous, are the ones that realize that. You know, their ego doesn't say, why should I hold on to his aura? You know, I'm a very unique individual. Well, you are a unique individual, so what? You know, like I'm a very unique individual, I'm not going to get the shot.
You're not gonna get what?
I'm not going to get any Western treatment. I'm a very unique individual. It's just, you know, the same analogy applies. You know, you get the shot, you heal. Hopefully, right? Okay. One other, or actually two other images I would like to share with you. One is the image of Grand Master Healer Danadoost, my mentor's granddaughter. When she came to our small apartment in Porto Madero. So I have a lot of memories from that area. Let's see if I could. And I was looking at her in admiration because she carries so much of her grandfather. And she's a grown-up woman now, she's 20 some odd years. This is around 1995 again or something like that. But can you see the, and I'm going to turn this. Can you see the white in here? This is actually my aura. I'm sending image. That's how it appeared. That's how it appeared on the photo. Regular camera. Regular camera can see it. Why can't you? Maybe you haven't thought about it. Okay. Here is another one. Here is my nephew's wife. Her lovely name is Nazak.
Oh.
We are in the park here at Stanford Park in Novato. And I called her and I sent her an energy and I took a picture and it came up.
What do you mean you called her?
I have called her Nazak and she turned.
I see.
So again, you know, is seeing aura really a significant thing? Yes, no, you know. I would not necessarily emphasize on seeing aura and all that because it's very distracting, especially in the beginning. You know, let's say, you know, you have kind of pistachio green aura and all that, and then if you start to see auras, everybody's aura is pistachio green. You know, and for a long time it's like, why everybody's aura is pistachio green? You've seen through the filtration of your aura. And until you get adjusted to it, you know, it's like having one of those stuff in your eyes and, you know, you can't see well, then you adjust to it, then you see around and about. So seeing aura is very helpful. You know, if you see a person, there's a dark thing there and it looks this way and that way, and it's helpful. If you don't see it, then you have to position yourself so you receive the information to know what to do with it. But initially it can be extremely, extremely interesting and as much very confusing and distracting. Okay? I don't think I can show you any other picture here, so let's see. We are almost towards the end of our gathering here, but I want to share a few things with you. It just shows where I am. You don't have to accept, leave, comply, or anything. One of the axioms that I want to share with you is that anything you try to change persists. So since your infancy, you've been changing and you're persisting. Right? So anything you try to change persists. And that's true with cancerous tumor, that's true with your finances. You want to forcefully change it, it's going to be that way. The conditions seemingly shift and change, you know, it's like watching a black and white movie done in 1960s. Then we have 3Ds and all the special effects. Same story though. This is the same story in 2012. Same story. So condition really hasn't changed. It doesn't change. It persists. It appears different. You know, it's true with cancer, it's true with your finances. Anything you try to change persists. So what do? We create a reality opposite to what is. So this is the axiom that most of my students or Shafaw students have had a very tough time with it. You know, we just, but they're changing, and again I have to explain, and again they go back to this, you know. So instead of changing, we shift. You know, it's like, would you wear your shoes when you were 2 years old? Would you wear it down? I mean, can you wear it down? Doesn't work. It's the same thing. You know, would you say, I'm going to go to Costco only if there's a reserved parking for me there? If there is no reserved parking, I'm not going to go there. But go there, position yourself. The car is going to pull up and you're going to pull in, and you're going to go to Costco and spend, you know, buy a lot of things you don't need. Just go. So in Shafaw, there is a difference between soul and spirit. So as I talk, I want you to know that soul is spirit plus experience. So we all have souls now, but we don't have spirits. Metaphorically. Why? Because the spirit has gained experiences, right? And that leads me to something that has helped me every day. It is helping me every day, and I'm going to share it with you. It's an axiom that I came to know about, and it's called the axiom of first agreement. The axiom of first agreement. Okay. So what is it? You know, imagine it's the beginning of time, and time was just created, and all of the intelligences in here, and the ones that you have ever seen, maybe going the opposite direction 70 miles an hour on the highway, and the ones that you haven't seen and you are not going to see. All these intelligences, you know, instead of calling soul or a spirit, I say intelligence. All these intelligences collectively came to an agreement. You know, let's say metaphorically we all said, you know what, let's all agree not to know everything. It's boring, very boring. You know, that's why they call us static, you know. You don't have to know it. I know everything there is to know, so why would I need it? You know, I don't need anything to eat, drink, or anything. Why would I need it? Why would I do anything? So let's agree, it's an agreement. So we shook hands collectively at the same time. We all agreed. So it's axiom 27, remember that. We all agreed not to know everything. And each agreement weighs something. As soon as we agreed, we got heavy and we descended. From knowing to being. From knowing to being. In being, it's impossible for you to know everything. Nobody can claim that. I mean, you can claim it, it's impossible. You can't possibly know everything. But it is very interesting and a lot of incentive here. You can know anything you want to know. Anything. But you must be in being to reach out and know. The information actually gets downloaded, and you have the information. So I was doing that, and people would ask me, how do you know? And I would lie. Oh, I read it in paper the other day. I read it in the book. Somebody told me. Because they wouldn't believe me if I told them. I had to come up with some reference. It's different nowadays. I just said, I don't know. It's very interesting. So you can actually reach out and know, but you got to be there. So if Mr. Ego says you are there, so reach out. Now, how come I don't know? Well, you are not there. That's why you don't know. You know, you're not connecting physically to love source. That's why you don't know. The information keeps on coming. You're not deciphering. So the axiom of first agreement is that we all collectively agreed not to know everything. We descended from knowing to being. And as soon as you're in being, what do? You do things. And as soon as you do things, you have things. And as soon as you have things, you want to have more of it. Why? Precious money. Money, you want to have more money. If you're healthy, you want to be more healthy. You want to just have more health around you. And here is the catch. If you have disease, you want to have more disease. It's the basic human psychology. Even though we say, no, I want to be healthy, I'm doing everything possible. Anything and everything possible for my health. But in some level, you want to have it, you have it. See, once you have it, it's difficult to unhave it. That's the basic human psychology. That helps me every day with the idea of justice. See, I could go crazy with that idea. It's just the holy game. Wherever you position yourself, you are going to encounter the forces of that field. That's what's going to happen. If I go and play soccer or football, and I break a leg, I can't say, God, why me? You start the game, you went to the game, you position yourself to play the game. Why? That's nothing to do with me. I provided you with all the tools, including your fingers and feet and eyes, to play the game. It has nothing to do with me, God says. It depends on how you position yourself. And for us to play the game, we shouldn't know initially what the score is going to be, or we're not going to play. So every day I remind myself of that, and that takes care of the idea of justice for me. Where is justice? And what happened to Hitler? He died, so what? Even if they made him in pieces, would that be justice? Close to 70 million people died in the Second War. He caused it. Where is the justice in it? Who can justify it? George Bush, for no reason, goes to Iraq and does what he does. Children in Iraq are being born with no internal organs, with 3 hands, no fingers, with an eye in here. And 10 days ago, he had a commencement speech in a university. Treated like a hero, a war criminal. And I'm not going to apologize if you are a Republican. A war criminal. Where is justice in it? See, I'm firing up again. First agreement. Okay, it's just a game, but painful game. And we allow it. We all have a share in it. We all are guilty of allowing that to happen. Yes?
On that note, because this is something I'm sure it's come across all our minds, Hitler, there's so many others we can talk about, Stalin goes on, Idi Amin, whatever. Did we, the collective, create Hitler, and did he choose to come in to show us how not to be? Was this part of our own, as we're all one?
It's a very nice way of looking at things.
I don't know, I'm just,
no,
I can't, I'm having difficulty with that one.
yeah, but no.
How do you see it?
Well, the way I see it is that we allowed it.
We absolutely.
Yeah.
But we collectively had a part in it by allowing it.
Well, what happened in Iraq, what's happening in Iraq and
Yes,
Afghanistan,
yes,
all these places
yes.
in Africa and so
Yeah.
forth. When we decide not to see,
Yeah,
we are more guilty than the ones that are pulling the
absolutely.
triggers.
Yeah.
You know? So you position yourself to send a darn email. What's the big deal with a darn email? Somebody's going to get upset. So who cares? Put the energy out there. Just express yourself. Position yourself to be a peace advocate. And speaking of peace, every other Wednesday we have a peace meditation. Please join us. Strengthen the number of attendees. When we collectively attend to a process, it actually becomes very fruitful. Okay. So the first agreement is really what has saved me throughout the years, because I can be a very good healer and I can be a very good fighter. It just depends on how I look at things, where I position myself. I could be the most fierce fighter in the universe, and I could be the most loving person in the universe. It just depends on where you position yourself. Okay, time is out, but I want to leave you probably with something that you may think as weird. It's about creation and how creation happened. Universe. U-N-I-verse. Verse means a song. So, was it the Big Bang or just the heavenly tune? Now, I don't know who created the tune, but whomever it is that created the tune, all of a sudden we have all these phenomena. In one of my meditations, and the way I start bringing information is like this. And that's the basis of Shafaw Healing, is a movement, a series of movements like Tai Chi or Qigong that we created, but we haven't been attending to it for the past few years. But the basis starts like this, you rub the back of your hands in front of the heart point, and then you go up, and then it's like a heart shape. And as soon as I reach here, information comes. It's like a rainbow of information, It's like an accordion. I have the information. I have a lot of information. My is really tired. It's like I'm holding 20, 30 pounds now. So, somehow I have to process that and disseminate the information. So in one of those incidences, I came to know there are 3 Earth. 3 Earth. So there are 2 of me sitting here, and there are 2 of you looking at me here, with a degree of a difference. And at some point I came to know me, myself, my higher self is really all me, but in different places. And we are in communication. Okay, so it's like what I don't understand at all, don't have any concept, gave birth to nothing initially. And what is nothing? Nothingness is not a void, is not a hole. Is nothing. Is the stuff from which the universe is made. Is the fiber of all creation. Is the field of all potentialities, possibilities, consciousness, awareness. Is nothing. So there are times that you feel nothing. It may be a very good thing. You may be positioning yourself to really give birth to a new setting or lots of new settings and conditions. It may be a good thing. Why don't I feel like doing anything? It may be a good thing. Hold on. You may not necessarily depressed. It actually may be a good thing, you know. And then converse with you to others. Converse. Information comes. So at this point, it's like there are 3 Earths, and you can be in communication like I am. And it's good. Good to know. All right. And so there are tiers. There is tier 0, which that field, whatever it is, we call it God, gave birth to nothing, and nothing gave birth to universe or gave birth to Big Bang. And then we have a female supreme consciousness. Female, gender. Well, the act of creation is female. You know, giving birth is female. That's what I'm saying. That female supreme consciousness gave birth to 3 other supreme consciousnesses. Okay, so there are different layers, and I can show you the chart, or at least partially. There are different Earth, different layers. So in here is the 3 female supreme consciousnesses. In here is nothing. In here is something that created nothing. I have no idea. Okay, in here. So technically, when we cross over and we are yearning for God or whatever, we are not going to go there. It's impossible. Have I lost you? Okay. So there is some actual practical anchoring in our healing process. Life is a healing process. We don't have to necessarily just focus on work and heal cancers. Every aspect of life is healing. This information actually becomes very useful. I'm not asking you to believe again. I'm not asking you to accept. I'm asking you to please be a Chinese student. You know, have the information. See if it works for you. Anything that I feel. See if it works for you. If it doesn't, drop it. But please stop believing anything I say, or if you already do, or if you don't. That's not what I want. I want you to try to see if it works for you. If it works, then you're good. So there is no return to the primary supreme consciousness, and the yearning of Rumi henceforth is understood by me. Well, I don't know, I could go on like this. Remember about the idea of dissension from knowing to being to having, that you do and have. And that's also the essence of why people don't want to heal. Exceptions aside, people don't want to heal. As healers, you must know that. And I did not have the courage to talk about it. People actually told me they don't want to heal. They said, oh, okay, that's a case to study, all right. I have plenty of it. People actually don't want to heal. They want to get better. They don't want to heal. So what do we do? What am I supposed to do? You know, I'm a healer. Well, my job is to provide a healing environment that the individual wants to heal. You know, on a daily basis, we work with people who are in coma in different continents, and we have very, very good success rate. The person doesn't know me, I don't know the person. The family, they just heard something, you know. but the person comes out of the coma. Maybe later on dies of a heart attack, I don't know. But comes out of the coma. You're very good at it. Mary is also very good at it. And, but people who come here and have questions and, you know, anything I say gets vetoed by a physician fresh from the medical school, then healing is a challenge. You know? It's a truly a humongous challenge. And what do I do with that? Well, patience is the biggest virtue of a healer, and I have plenty of patience. On that note, thank you for your patience.